This is Umbra, and Umbra is out of control. Umbra's owner has pretty much given up walking her. Her reactivity is so bad that she can't do anything with her anymore. She's barking, she's lunging, the reactivity is just relentless, and this might be her last chance. I've got just 4 weeks to turn Umbra around, but how am I gonna do it? Corrections make her worse. She doesn't want food as a reward, so what's the answer? In this video, I'm going to show you the first 4 things that I do with Umbra to lay an amazing foundation to fix her reactivity once and for all. And these aren't overly complicated, but trust me, they are absolutely necessary. So let's get into it. Step number 1, the very first thing that I'm going to do with Umbra is I'm going to create food motivation, and I'm going to teach her a reward marker. And I know what you're thinking. Adam, you said that she doesn't want to take food. And to be honest, you're right, she doesn't at the moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her through a food motivation process where I'm going to put her into a slow feeding bowl. Then I'm going to bring her onto my hand, and then that's when we're going to establish that reward marker. Dogs don't speak English. I need a real way to communicate with Umbra when she's done something right. It's going to be up there, one of the most important things that I teach her, but I need a way to clearly communicate with her when she's done something good. So I can say, well done, do that again. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So I'm here with Umbra. We're going to go over our yes marker. This is the way that I condition it with every dog that I train. She already has a basic understanding of the yes marker, but I'm just going to show you how I condition it anyway. So there's a few different ways that you can do this. I used to do it actually slightly different, but for now we're going to use something called the Newton's cradle method. I'm sure you've seen Newton's cradle. It moves backwards and forwards, and it's going to be something very similar with what I do with Umbra. I'm going to throw some food from side to side. I'm going to make her chase it. It's going to induce a little bit of a prey drive, and she's going to find it really exciting. So obviously I've already been through a food motivation process with her, making sure that she really enjoys the food. And now I'm just going to start to condition the marker. So I'm going to throw some food to my right, I'm going to throw some food to my left, and then I'm going to feed her from my hand. Each time as I do that, I'm going to say yes before I deliver the food to her or before I throw the food. So it's going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to have the food in my hand. Yes, throw the food. When she looks up, yes, throw the food. When she looks up, yes. And I give her a big handful from me. So let's do that one more time. I'm gonna move around with Umbra. Yes. I'm gonna throw. Yes. I'm gonna throw. And when she looks back up at me, yes. And I'm gonna pay her a big handful from my hand. So with this, I want you to do this around 5 or 6 times. So 1 rep would be thrown to the right, thrown to the left, a handful on you, and I want you to do about 5 repetitions of that. You should do this for about 5 days, and you should have a pretty schmicko marker by the end of that process. And just remember, the reason that we are doing this is so we can have clear communication with our dog, or so I can have clear communication with Umbra. I will be able to tell her in the most easy and most clear way possible that, hey, what you just did was really good, do that again. But if I don't have a sound or a word which communicates that with her, then our training is gonna be very hard, and also I think it's not very fair on her as well. So the second thing that I'm going to teach Umbra to do is I'm going to teach her how to play. I know what you're thinking, Adam, is play really that important? And yes, yes it is. There's lots of different reasons that I'm going to play with Umbra. A communication system to set boundaries, exercise and fulfillment. But instead of me talking about it, I'm going to simply show you the few rules that you can even put into place to get a better result when you play with your dog. Okay, so now we're going to talk just a little bit about play. So play is very, very in-depth when you get into it, right? But I'm just going to give you a few simple rules to follow and stuff that I'm going to be doing with Umbra. So with Umbra, she really likes to be on the tug and other pieces of equipment. But if it's your dog, you might need to switch to something else. This could be a little fluffy toy that you get off of Temu, your local shop. A very common one that people will use to begin with dogs is like a flirt pole. I've got a bit of an adaptation of a flirt pole. It's a rag on a piece of string. Umbra still loves this as well. But for today, we're going to be going over the traditional tug toys that you see online. Okay, so rule number 1 is going to be actually nothing to do with the tug. I'll put this away because Umbra will want to play. It is what I have in my hands, and that is the leash. I want you to keep your dog on the leash at all times when you're playing, okay? We don't want them to check out. That's going to be another rule that we're talking about soon. But I want them to stay engaged with you, and that's going to come through keeping them on a leash. Once again, I personally like to have a collar which has action when I play with the dog. So for example, again, that's gonna be a slip collar or a prong collar. I'm gonna have her on her prong collar when I'm playing with her. I could also have another leash that goes on a flat collar, but that's us getting too in depth. But I'm simply going to keep her on the leash at all times when I play with her, and so should you when it comes to your dog. Rule number 2 is do not put the tug in the dog's face, even though Umbra will take it. I want to move the tug away from the dog's mouth, okay? We don't want to just shove the toy in their face, as most of the time if your dog doesn't play, that's not gonna be very fun for them. We wanna try and induce a little bit of their prey drive, and that's gonna come through moving the tug away from their face. So rule number 2 is gonna be move the tug away from them. Don't bring the tug to them. So rule number 3 is gonna be when you are playing with your dog, I want you to let them win quite often, okay? And we want it to be fun for them and to be really enjoying the game. So I want you to put a bit of an act on. Go as a little bit of an actor and really make them feel big and feel strong and let them win a lot, okay? This will then go back to what we talked about before and keeping them on a leash. And this is then when you can re-engage the dog with you. If they've taken the tug in their mouth, I can use the leash to bring them back and engage with me. So make them win very often, make them feel strong and very big and powerful, and that will make them enjoy the game even more. The last rule is going to be end the game before your dog ends the game. So I don't want Umbra to actively check out of the game and be like, nah, I'm done, I'm bored now. I want to try and find her limit, where she's going to get bored and end the game before there. So next time she comes back, she's going to be even more excited because I cut her off. She was having the best time, then all of a sudden, I just stopped the game. And she's like, what the hell, why did you do that? I was really enjoying myself. So when I bring the tug out again, she's going to be even more excited to play because she missed out on the best time she could have had last time. Okay, so the quick bonus rule is going to be you're going to have a start and finish cue for your play. I'm simply going to be using the word, are you ready, with Umbra? I'll say it a few times, and then when I'm going to stop the game, I'm going to say finished. And that's going to give her a clear guideline that when she hears that word, we're kicking it off. That's her opportunity to have fun and be very energetic and pushy with me. But when she hears finished, she knows that she's done and she can no longer do that, and she's back to being nice and calm. Whoa. Whoa, good girly. Wow. The next thing that I'm gonna do with Umbra is I'm gonna get her off the leash as fast as possible. And let's be real, the only way that I can do that around real distractions is to use an e-collar. And I know, it's a hot topic of debate, and that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But in this section, I'm simply gonna show you how I can lay a really good foundation for Umbra for a recall, and then how we can start to layer the e-collar to give her true off-leash freedom. I wanna give Umbra the best life possible, and realistically, that's not gonna come through having her restrained to a leash. I'm a massive believer that a lot of the reactivity issues that we see in day-to-day life of other dogs is usually through a lack of fulfillment. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our long line recall with Umbra. So Umbra already has a decent understanding of what it means to come back to me. I'm just gonna go over with you a few simple things that you can do to make your dog's long line recall better. But then at the moment, I'm moving straight on to conditioning her to the e-collar so I can get her off the leash as fast as possible. So quite simply, I want you to have a retractable leash. It's going to be a little bit of a debate about what's better, a long line or a retractable, but you're going to find this a lot easier once you get used to it, because obviously, like the name, it retracts for you and you don't get the long line tangled around your legs or the dog's leg. So the next thing that I always like to have on the dog is either a slip collar or a prong collar. And today, Umbra is on a 2.25 prong collar because I'm gonna get the best result when she ignores my recall, okay? It's all well and good rewarding her for coming back to me, but I need to give her a little bit of pressure when she decides to ignore me so I can create a bit of obligation in the behavior. And lastly, but obviously most importantly, and what we just talked about in the past video, is you need a clear communication system with your dog. We need a solid reward marker. So Umbra already has a pretty good understanding of the word yes. So that's why we're gonna move onto our recall now so I can get her off leash as fast as possible. So Umbra's pretty bloody good at coming back to me. I'm just gonna give you a pretend demo of what would happen if she was to ignore me. So let's say I've asked Umbra to come back and she has ignored me. I would simply lock off my retractable leash and quite lightly just begin to give her a tap on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm talking to you, you need to turn around. And when she would turn around, I'd reward her. But I need to have that level of communication to say, hey, turn around and come back now, otherwise I'm just beating my head against a wall. Okay, so let's give that a go. So I'm just gonna move around and wait until she's distracted, like now, Umbra, here. Yes, nice, good girl. So Umbra's recall is here. I use her name, I say here, and when she turns around and makes the right decision to come back, I mark YES. Umbra, here, yes. I'm also moving backwards to create a little bit more excitement. It's gonna be quite boring if I'm just stood still. So when I do recall her, I wanna move back, make myself a little bit more exciting. The yes marker also helps with that as well, because she already knows that that means, hey, I did the right thing. Umbra, here, yes. Beautiful, good girlie. What we'll do now is I'll just put a little bit of a distraction down where Umbra's probably gonna fail, and I will show you what it's gonna look like when I give her a little bit of pressure. So I'm gonna throw some food down. Umbra, here. Yes. Nice. You're gonna be repeating yourself over and over and over again if you don't give your dog an adequate consequence for ignoring your recall. So find something where you can give a little bit of pressure to your dog to let them know that they can't ignore you. Otherwise, you'll just be beating your head against a wall when it comes to your recall because you're not gonna get anywhere. Your dog's just gonna ignore you because they know that they can. Okay, so what we need is we need food motivation. We need a marker system. We need a collar that has a little bit of action so you can give your dog obligation when it comes to the recall. And lastly, we need something which is gonna make your life easy. And that is gonna be the retractable leash for most people. The last thing that I'm gonna teach Umbra is gonna be a punishment marker. It's gonna be a clear way that I can say to her that what you're currently doing in this moment is not okay. I don't like it. And yes, just like the e-collar and many other things in the dog training world, punishment is a hot topic of debate. But once again, I'm a true believer that with clear communication with our dog through consequential learning, telling them what is right and what is wrong, that opens up their whole world, that they can go and live a truly fulfilled life when they have boundaries. But just like everything in the world, stuff can be misinterpreted. People can do the wrong thing. So I don't want to show you exactly how I teach the punishment marker through this video. And over the next few videos, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing with Umbra. I'm going to show you how her recall progresses, how she is around dogs, how I'm playing with her, and how at the end of these 4 weeks, we're going to get a completely transformed dog. So these 4 things that I've shown you today are just the very start of fixing your dog's reactive behavior. So if you do have a reactive dog and you're trying to fix their issues, I would recommend reaching out to a reputable trainer to help you with your issues. But just one thing, when you are looking for a trainer, make sure they can actually fix your issues. Make sure that they've got reviews and testimonials of fixing other dogs who have the same behavioral issues as your dog. So with all that being said, if you want to stay around and watch Umbra's full transformation, then all you got to do is subscribe, and I'll see you next time.